This week, we take a look at more seniors committing to the military and students' motivation second semester. All that and more on the Warrior Weekly. Good morning, Warriors, and welcome to this week's edition of the Warrior Weekly, presented by Warrior Student Media. I'm Sydney Boswell.
And I'm Fionn Curtain. This week, we take a look at a number of exciting events and stories at MCHS.
First, after seniors had time to think, more and more are deciding to commit to the military.
This year's senior class of 2026 have students of all different sorts going into many different fields for their next step options. However, like last year's class, students committing into the military are becoming much more common amongst the senior class. Student Career Counselor Mr. Menke expresses McHenry's high military numbers. He also explains the intense training that can set up students for their future after or during the military.
Historically, McHenry High School has always had a pretty healthy percentage of students that go into the military. You get assigned a job while you're there, and so you get pretty specific high-intensity training in that job or in that career area that you can certainly use if you become a military lifer, or if you just do your 4 years or your 6 years, and then you can use that training in civilian life.
Seniors Enrique Moreno and Caden Barron state their future military branch and job while also elaborating on why they joined the military.
I'm joining the United States Marine Corps, and I'm doing, my OS is 0311, which is the infantry unit.
So I'm joining the United States Army Reserves, and I'm going to be a 36 Bravo, which is a financial management specialist. I've always wanted to join since I was a little kid. Never really knew what I wanted to do. I just know I wanted to be a part of something that was, greater than me.
I was saving my classes, and I'm like, I'm not learning anything that imports to me too much, and I decided to go to a recruiter's office and check it out. Save the VA loan just so I can get a house at a relatively young age and not have to really worry about the finances through that.
The experience. A lot of people say money and the discounts you might get, but I think the experience will be the best for me.
After Enrique and Caden identified the reasons for wanting to join, they also revealed their plans after their military service.
I plan to probably go back to the trades just to do something simple, like be a mechanic or maybe be a carpenter.
I do hope to get a degree in finance and hopefully take that skill outside into the real world.
We were always typically anywhere from 2 to 4% of our grads would go into the military. Nationally, it's typically 1 to 1.5%. So we're always well above the national average. I will gaze into the crystal ball. Again, last year we were at 6%, which was about 30 total people. I think the class of 2026 is going to get close.
Caden and Enrique are not the only two seniors committing to military service. If the military interests you, speak to Mr. Menke or a nearby recruiter. Reporting for the Warrior Weekly, we are Aiden Hirsch, Rose Wenkebach, and Cameron Mitchell.
Lastly, we investigate how students' motivation decreases during second semester.
With the first half of the semester done, student motivation is at a weird spot, absences are fluctuating, and the weather's been anything but helpful for students.
We know, especially as you get in January, February, that's the hardest month for students. The number of missing assignments, we were at, I don't remember the number, 18,000 or something across the building. So we picked, one data point that we really thought could help keep students motivated and kind of rally our staff around to focus on.
It's important to use your teachers as resources, know what they can offer you, and where to find them.
I'm just trying to make sure that they have a lot of opportunities. I try to do a lot of work time in class so that maybe they don't have to, do something when they leave, and that I'm there as a resource so that, they do get stuck, that we can answer it right away, either in a small group setting, a one-on-one setting, or just a whole class. If everybody's stuck, let's just do it. For myself and as other people, what's your end goal? Try not to have that small-term goal. Don't forget about that big goal of what you're trying to strive for, and just don't lose focus on that part. Because yes, the daily choice of doing geometry homework versus scrolling on your phone. At the end, when the semester's over, or you want to apply to colleges, you're listening to Mr. Menke talk. Sometimes you kind of burn some bridges. You lost that long-term goal while you're short-term focus.
Further into February, there tends to be a lack of motivation because of the weather, students not coming to school on time.
What we do see is a lack of motivation in students during this time of year. And I believe a lot of it has to do with the weather, right? It is, if you have to walk home, you have to walk in the snow now, or as we're seeing these really, really cold temperatures recently, right? If you leave school, often the motivation to come back to school for an athletic event or something like that is lower too, right? What we do is we obviously don't cut those throughout the year. We have an activities committee that kind of thinks through what sorts of activities do students want to do. The key is, how do we engage and incentivize students in what they want, right? Work towards something positive and really reward those students that are doing their thing and doing really, really well, and they're staying motivated.
It's important to know your teachers, learn what resources they can give you, and get on track to stay on track for the entire semester. Reporting for the Warrior Weekly, we are Dylan Elshansky, Hunter Lechner, and Tori Clark.
That's all for today's show. Be sure to follow the Warrior Weekly on all social media platforms, including X, Insta, and TikTok.
For Sydney Boswell and all of Warrior Student Media, I'm Fionn Cotain. Have a great week, Warriors, and thank you for watching.